you like to be remembered? And
No, I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm just my mom's question. I don't think it.
I mean it's
yeah.
About is that what her
no,
question
no,
was?
no.
Legacy?
Her question was just like in general, like what do you feel the importance of legacy work is?
By legacy work, you mean memorializing individuals from the Muslim world, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you're memorializing. I think it's very important, and I've dedicated the last 2 decades, 10, 15 years of my life trying to commemorate people of spiritual attainment who have made an impact on my generation and the contemporary Islam. So I think that this is part of what we would call the Tabaqāt literature, memorializing saintly people. And I think we need these kinds of role models. So I think that's a valuable thing. And I also think that it's useful memorializing decent people who have made some kind of mark, a positive mark on our contemporary life. Like, for example, King Faisal, God have mercy upon him. He was a great idealist and well-intentioned, and a unique leader for his time. I think one of the great Muslim leaders of the 20th century, certainly. But I think we have to be very honest and not over-romanticize individuals. And I would say not looking so much forward, but looking at attainment, but looking at the quality of these people, their character, and what they've not necessarily what they've achieved, because we live in this environment that's it's meritocracy oriented, where everything is based upon what you attain, what the recognition you get, and there are many people who are unrecognized and are meant to be unrecognized and want to be unrecognized, who have far more deserving of recognition than many of the people who are recognized for their attainments. I think this is a Western idea. I mean, if you think about how many award ceremonies there are all over the world now, people are being awarded for everything. And what is that about? It's about the ego. It's got nothing to do with anything else. And this idea of meritocracy is something that is, I don't think it's particularly healthy anymore, particularly since merit can be purchased now just through, privilege and the ability to have all the help in the world to achieve something. So I think that we need to look at character and the human qualities of character, and memorialize those aspects of the human being more than they've created something extraordinary. Because there are many people who live very simple lives, who have they're deserving praise in a way, but they don't want it. You know? And those are the people that interest me, actually. So what else?
Thank you very much for sharing. That is, thank you for your insight. We're really grateful for that.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, there are people, for example, Sami Yusuf is someone who I think is deserving of great respect.
Yeah.
Admiration because of his dedication to making something beautiful, but it's not because of his fame, it's because of his sincerity and his gift. A.R. Rahman is another extraordinary person, you know, he's a man of great humility and gifted musician. And there are so many people, but they're young people who are. I think it's a dangerous thing to memorialize people when they're alive. I think that you need to wait until the story is over, and then you can evaluate them in terms of their character, in terms of are they compassionate, are they patient, are they kind, are they generous, are they egotistical, or are they self-effacing? These are qualities that are far more important than having written a book or painting or making a film or being a world leader. These things are more circumstantial, and they're a matter of luck. I mean, a lot of people, there are gifted people everywhere, and some people are very successful and are known for their success, and some people never receive any recognition for what they've done. And in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because we all face the Creator. We have to account for our own actions, not for what people think of us, and so on. So I think that legacy is a matter of interpretation, but I think that the danger is that it becomes, you know, like what we see in the Western world, where it's all tied in with success in some way, and then it becomes a media. It's to do with media. You know, there are many people who achieve something, but they're not telegenic, let's say, or they're not very articulate, and so they're unknown, or they fall by the wayside. There are other people who are, you know, not particularly gifted, but famous because they're good at presenting themselves. You know, and it's better not to make judgment. And I would say that the focus should be on people of spiritual attainment, purity, and because these are the exemplars and the role models that we need to navigate through the world. We really need people. We need to have role models who are not attached to the world, who understand, have knowledge that's deeper than the superficial knowledges that we receive in academia or in the world, in the normal world. We need people who can help us into the next world. I think that, to me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Thank you. You know, when we talk about, you know, legacy films,
Yeah.
I'm often in a dilemma on what to produce, because like we mentioned inside, like you said, it's a film business, right? So it has to be commercially successful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how do you sort of? It's a tight balancing act if we were to produce, let's say, legacy films that are there to inspire society and are there to inspire the future generations, and but at the same time, it has to be commercially successful. So how would you advise one to proceed?
Well, I would, first of all, I would say, don't do conventional narrative films that are related to spirituality. If you look at the media that the traditional Muslims use to communicate their love of, let's say, the Prophet Muhammad, look at Dalail Khairat and Burda. These are almost surrealistic invocations where the participants actually enter into a state when they're waves of their descriptions mixed with praise, with invocations. They're these extraordinary sort of unconventional narrative devices. And I would say that this is where Muslim filmmakers, for example, should start looking if they're going to in that direction. The other thing is, I would look to the films of Akira Kurosawa, for example. Almost any one of his films, particularly the samurai films, you could take the characters, change their names, change the locations to, say, Central Asia or someplace like that, and they would be Muslim tales. Why? Because Kurosawa was steeped in samurai culture, because he comes from a samurai lineage. So his films are about chivalry, self-sacrifice, mercy, bravery, kindness. All these things are in their films, and so they're films that basically embody all of the qualities that we as Muslims extol. So I would say that that's a model that you could follow. The Seven Samurai, I believe, is the greatest film ever made.
Wow.
And it's a film that could easily be transferred to a Muslim setting. And that's sort of the story. And it was a huge commercial success. It was remade as The Magnificent Seven by Hollywood. That's been done a couple of times. Not as well as the original, obviously, but so I would. That's one way of looking at it, and I think Muslims have to stop. When they think of doing a film, they immediately think of doing something historic. Why? The message you're sending is that Islam is antique. It's something that happened a long time ago. It's not. It's history. It's not
present.
It's not the present.
Or
it's
futuristic.
Not contemporary. And I think that finding moral tales and also cautionary tales about greed. One of the films that I particularly liked was made by someone who claimed to be an atheist. Was the Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which is an extraordinary cautionary tale about greed.
Wow.
It's a fantastic, and Muslims should take their ethical and moral qualities that are very, very important. They're not. It's not like being a Boy Scout. The spiritual station of someone who has achieved what we call subsistence is that his bad qualities are replaced by beautiful qualities. And so this is not just like a moral, like being a Boy Scout. It's something that's deeply spiritual. When the ego is extinguished, and this is really the goal that we should be seeking, is to submit the ego and basically leave the self, the ego, behind. And this, of course, we're living in a culture that celebrates the ego.
Yeah.
That, you want to become amazing, fantastic. You want to make your mark in the world. And this is not what life is about. Yeah. And so Muslims can very easily fall into that trap of trying to, make something that says how great we are. This is not what we're about. So the tendency is to, when you want to make a film about Islam, you say, we'll make a film of the biography of Saladin, or let's make a film about the Prophet.
Yeah.
Why? You don't have to. Why do you have to make a historical film? If you do that, then you're going to get criticized, because someone will say, well, that isn't the way Salahuddin was, and you've made it cheap, and so on. We're not like Hollywood filmmakers. You don't have to follow that narrative structure. What you can do is make up a fictional film that presents these beautiful qualities. Be creative. So that's what I would say.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so
MashaAllah.
much.